Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to show you all how to make some cheap, affordable hammock straps. Now I have 4 that I'm going to be making, 2 for each hammock. I have 2 hammocks, one for my wife and one for myself. So if you only have 1 hammock, you're only going to need 2 straps. To do this, you're going to need straps, a nice sharp knife, thread, and some needles. So get your supplies together and we'll get started. Hey guys, alright, after you have everything ready, what we need to do next is prepare the straps. We need to remove this hook from this section of the strap. Now some of you may be wondering why we would want to remove this. Well, this piece of metal is pretty heavy. It's not really necessary, and it's just better to remove it instead of packing all that extra weight. Every ounce counts when you're out taking your gear with you. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll cut these 2 straps off and get rid of these 2 parts. Then we'll take the hooks and tie them into here and then sew them in to the ends of the other straps. So let's do that now. Take your knife and just cut the strap out from here. And repeat with the other one. Alright, now we have our 2 hooks. Now what we need to do is sew them onto the ends of our other straps. So let's set this one to the side, and that one. Let's get to our end here. What we're going to do is we are going to fold this end over with the hook inside and sew it together, just like this. And make sure you fold over enough to sew. Alright, I'm going to sew this and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Alright guys, here are the completed straps. Now, I didn't film me sewing because I am not the best sewer, and I wouldn't want you to learn that from me. As you can see, I've sewed the other 2 sets on. I have run 2 lines of 3 to 4 stitch lines each. 3 lines this way and 3 lines that way. Now, let me show you how they work. They're right there. I've got a fairly small tree here, so let's go ahead and throw it around. Now there's a few different ways how you can do this. You can put the strap around and just use that to pull tight, like so. Or you can give it more security if the tree is small enough and wrap it around 1, 2, 3 times depending on a few variables. The main variable is how far the trees are apart if your hammock is long enough with the straps to reach each side. You could have it up like that, or you can have both of these metal loops around the loop of your hammock, like that. This is probably the most secure way. If these straps aren't tight, it will slip in the night or when you go to sit in it. But this setup right here is ideal if you have a small enough tree. Now, you're not always fortunate to have a small tree like this. Sometimes the trees are even bigger, and then you have to compromise what you're doing. In this case here, the 2 trees that I'm using in my backyard, I have to use this setup. If I don't, the straps in the hammock isn't long enough to reach the other tree. Alright, now here's the other side, which you'll notice I'm using that thick tree again. And that was one of the whole reasons why I decided to make these hammock straps, is because you can't always find trees that are small. So sometimes you have to compromise, and the setup that this hammock came with just wouldn't suffice. So I decided to make these hammock straps, and I figured that I would show you all how to make them in case you wanted to make some as well. Between that tree and this tree over here that I strapped it to, the straps and the hammock still just aren't long enough. As you can see right here, I used some of the old hammock straps in with this. That's why you shouldn't throw anything away, especially in a survival situation. This acts as a lengthen technique that you can use to strap it up in between trees that aren't close together. You might not always find trees that are in the perfect length, and you might not always have the perfect setup. So something like this might come in. You might have to be creative, do what you need to do to get your hammock up. Now all I did was take that cord, wrap it around in between the 2 sections, back and forth until the hammock is tight. Now the hammock isn't perfectly tight right now because I've sat in it. After you sit in the hammock and lay in it, it'll sag, and all I would have to do to tighten this up would be go back over here and tighten those up again. The hammock and the straps and all will stretch when you're laying in overnight. That's why you're supposed to have it up high enough off of the ground. That way you don't sag to the bottom. But there you guys go. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see y'all in the next video.